you're trailing, I'm losing your mind and I'm losing your head. Let me escape from this love, cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to look my way and never back to you.
I'm muted. What's going on? Transfer day. Transfer deadline day.
Thank God.
It's over. It's over.
I just don't want to fight with people anymore.
I know, right? Oh, I think it's just begun personally.
Well, we haven't hit the "I told you so" stage yet. Wait for that.
Yeah, the beginning of the end. Now, everyone's out in the chat. Thank you for watching the show. I know there's a lot of people going live right now. It's a busy day. So if you're here, we love you. And yeah. What a stressful summer.
If you go back, actually, it's been a stressful spring to summer. If you go back to like, basically, if you want to go back as far as the North London Derby at the Emirates, this has been a very stressful time to be a Tottenham supporter. But I think that the summer has been better than the spring, if I'm being honest, because I mean, sacking Jose, 72 days to get Nuno in, that was excruciating. At least, like we might not be having the perfect summer window, but we've brought 5 players in. Maybe not all players that can make an impact this season, but I've seen worse windows, that's for sure.
Yeah. 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 But you know what's really difficult about this, right? And this is just kind of funny anecdotal thing that kind of falls into the nature of the window, is that with the exception of Christian Romero and Pierluigi Golini, if I go to look for ripped PNGs of those players, they don't exist. So that for people who don't know, there's a site that does a lot of pulling out players for stuff, and if I search for Pepe Sarr, they don't have any images of them. If I search for Brian Hill, they don't have any images of them. If I search for the most recent one, which just happened, Mr. Emerson Royal, there's no images of him. So I don't know if that necessarily means anything, but let's get this thing rolling. Let's see here. Want to thank all of the people that do help support the channel. Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne, Bonner, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, AG, Gogama, Tony Go, Alex Broughton, Bosford TV, John N, YouTube members, Matt Hayes, Tottenham Blog, Sai Says, Danny Kiriakou, Wayne Bonner, Dan THFC, Tony Go, Scott M, Kieran McDonald, Tottenham Tantrum, Colin Lumsden should also be on the Patreon members list. He did sign for our Patreon as well as a YouTube membership. Thank you very much for that, Colin. And Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur. Those are the folks who we love. And for all the people that are out there watching the show right now, we've got Will Mado in the house. Welcome, Will. David, 안녕하세요. And Steve Williams, nice to have you here. K-Cuff, nice to see you. Island Life, always a pleasure. Crocodox, I love your name. Scott Helper Football, welcome to the show. Who else is out in there? Lappers82, long time no see, mate. Welcome to the show. Numero Nuno, I like that. Listening to some royalty-free music. Yeah, we got some royalty. It's not. Well, it's stream beats. I like a good stream beat. Mr. Harris Heller, he's a saint. And Will Mato says he doesn't like Skip and Tanganga as our starters. What do you guys think? I don't mind Skip, and Tanganga's played fairly well so far. Apparently I'm Mr. Negative, but on these two particular players, I can't be negative because they've played really well. I think Jason Groves is in the house as well.
The thing about those two players is that they're limited going forward, and although we could have played we could have potted 3 goals easily against Watford. I think the scoreline flattered them. It would be nice to have players at those positions who could do more. Thing is, Skip is being relied upon, I think, to cover up a little bit for Dyer and Sanchez. He's playing very deep, right?
Yeah.
I think Skip, if I'm being honest, like he's looking like a prime Moussa Sissoko, if that makes any sense. In terms of what he's like, a destroyer. He's got that motor that won't quit. When the ball's going over Sanchez's head, it's Skippy who's in the box clearing it.
Yeah.
He's given away some fouls very close to the 18-yard box. And he's got himself carded, I think, twice out of the 3 games. But for someone at his age, I think he's shown a lot of promise. You worry about a player who goes away on loan to Norwich and far and away playing for the best team in the championship, plays well, but you do kind of worry, all right, is he going to be able to make the transition? And I think we're seeing that. He's shown a lot of promise. And let's not forget too that I think it was the second last game of last season, he broke a bone in his foot, and he seems to have recovered quite well from that. So I'm quite pleased with Oliver Skip. I'm pleased with Jaffa too. Like Traore kind of turned him inside out, but Traore turns everybody in the league inside out when he's on his game. So I don't really want to hold that against him. And as a unit, 3 clean sheets. But it does beg the question, because I've already started to see the murmurs on different Spurs podcasts. I was watching Last Word on Spurs yesterday, and they were talking about how, the football hasn't been entertaining. The Watford game wasn't exactly a great watch, if you were a neutral. And when you play that style of football, people are going to always kind of jump to that Jose comparison. And when the results don't go your way, winning takes care of everything. You win, nothing is wrong. It doesn't matter. We were all singing Jose's name when we were top table in November last year after we beat Man City. But if the wheels start to fall off, if they start to wobble, if we drop points against lesser teams, if we don't manage to hold on to these leads that we look very solid holding on to right now, that's when you wonder if people will start getting on Nuno's back, if the pressure will start to mount, if the media questions will become more difficult. But hey, we're sitting on maximum points. You can't complain about that.
No, I can't complain about the results so far. At least we're not at the bottom of the table.
Having spent the most money in Europe.
Yeah, spent the most money in Europe. Bottom of the table, no goals.
Not my club.
-9 goal differential. In the mud. At least we're not there, right? It could be worse, right? We could be Arsenal.
Did you see? They've come out with a new award. It's shot on target of the month in the Premier League. So Arsenal fans can vote on 7 options for shot on target of the month for August.
Yeah. But man, it's not that I'm necessarily saying that we've done bad business this summer. It's just not business that gives me a lot of confidence to say we're gonna we're going to be able to compete in all the different competitions that we're in effectively. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to say, I hope, but I don't have confidence in it. There's no level of confidence that makes me look at our squad and is like, we got this.
Where's the goals coming from? You know, where's the goals coming from? You know, you've got Kane, you've got Son, both coming off career years, both of whom will be the complete target of opposition managers. Like, how do we stop Kane and Son? Both of them cannot play in cup competitions. They can't. We've been through this before. You know, we've lost secondary scoring in Carlos Vinicius and Gareth Bale, and you can sit there and argue about the quality of the opposition that they were scoring against, you know, calling them bricklayers or farmers or whatever, but guess what? We still need to score goals against bricklayers and farmers. And Stade Rennes, they were in the Champions League last year, and we're grouped with them in the Europa Conference League. Now, that was a really weak team that we played in Portugal, so I don't want to pass judgment on a player like Dane Scarlett. But do we really want, if we're a big club, if we have the aspirations of a big club, if we want to be winning a cup, if we want to be pushing, if not solidifying, a top 4 finish, does a big club, tell me one other club that has a 17-year-old as their backup striker right now. Tell me one other club that has a right winger who scored 1 Premier League goal last season, and we don't have a backup for him, right? Lucas Moura, 3 Premier League goals last season. Dele Alli, no Premier League goals last season. Højbjerg's not going to score, although oddly enough, he took a free kick against Watford and almost scored. That was kind of bizarre. Skippy's not going to score. Our defenders, they're not going to score. They might chip in here and there. That's fine. But generally speaking, even in the Premier League, we are one-dimensional. And that is assuming that Kane and Son play every single game. Because when one of the two are missing, we become very one-dimensional in terms of the way that we attack. Very one-dimensional. We're already one-dimensional with both of them. So where are the goals coming from, man? I keep asking the question, and, you know, like, facts are facts. Facts are, you and I agree on this. Like, facts are neither positive nor negative. If you present a fact to somebody, you're not being negative. You are just saying this is a fact. You know, if I'm sitting at a bus station and I watch someone stab someone else, and I point at that and say, that person stabbed that person. Am I being negative? No. I mean, it's a terrible thing that I've just witnessed. It's a negative event, but I'm not being negative by pointing out that someone just stabbed someone. We don't have secondary goal scoring in this squad right now. You cannot say that the way that we are winning matches right now, although nice, is a sustainable way. So unless there is some kind of progress with the players that we have, as in Nuno finds a way to unlock Steven Bergwijn and he contributes, 12 goals plus assists or 15 goals plus assists, unless Dele Alli is going to score double-digit goals. Where are the goals coming from, even in the Premier League? Forget the cups. Like, unless Kane or Son play in the cups, where are the goals coming from? We had to play Kane and Son both in the second leg. Now, we didn't have to substitute Son into the game, but Harry Kane was probably getting a run out. But we also, we came into that leg trailing 1-0, so we had to play a strong team to win. Are we backing ourselves into a corner like we found ourselves last season, where the spine of our team fatigues towards the end of the season? The spine of the team gets injured. I would say there's a lot of reason to be positive about the summer transfer window, but not in the context of this season for me. And like I've tweeted this, I've tweeted to that effect and had, people coming at me, no, stop it, you're being blah 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 blah. But it's like, just okay, you disagree with me, that's fine. show me where I'm wrong. Show me, show your work, people. You know, it was like in school where you had to do your math problems and, you know, you could look at it and probably figure it out, but your teacher said, show your work, right? Use reason and evidence to prove me wrong. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I mean, for me, look, that's the thing. Like, if I'm making an assertion, and you disagree with that, you can simply say, "Oh, you know, I disagree." Right? We can disagree, or you can reject my premise. That's fine, but you can't say I'm wrong. Right? You can't say it's not the case unless you have evidence. You can disagree. That's fine. You can even have your own opinion. That's fine. But it's all about what I call, right? Is your induction, is the conclusion that you've come up with reasonable, right? For instance, if I were to say to you, right? If I were to say to you, I went to the store yesterday. Would you believe me without evidence? Sure. Why? Because it's reasonable that I went to the store yesterday. If I said I went to the moon yesterday, would you believe me? No, because it's an extraordinary claim, right? Us saying that I don't believe, right, that we have any attacking players who can make up for the goal contributions of Vinicius and Bale, based on those, that's a reasonable claim, right? Based on a historical pattern of the players who are now existing in that position. It is unreasonable to say that Dane Scarlett and Brian Hill are going to make up for 25 goal attacking returns partnered with Lucas Moura and Steven Bergwijn, right? That's unreasonable. We do have a few super chats here. Darksung J21 with 5001. Kamsahamnida. Remember, we still have the winter window. As long as we have Paratici, I'm looking forward to the winter window. As long as we get 2 or 3 transfers, then that is true.
There's nothing unreasonable about that, but you know, the thing is, the problems exist now, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we can make it till January,
that's a risk. It's a risk that we're taking by not going out and getting that second striker, by not going out and getting a proven goal scoring threat at right wing. It's a risk. You know, we really, like, how much creativity do we possess in midfield right now if we're starting Dele Alli, Oliver Skip, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg? It's next to none. So while I don't disagree, like, the thing is, we've done a lot of business, right? We've brought 5 players in, and if you count the players that left on free transfers, we've had a lot of players go out. But we just haven't addressed the immediate needs of the squad.
Yes, we do, and I hope and pray that we have enough depth to make it to January, so that we can start signing some more. But, and this is the only reason that I am a little bit skeptical of this, is we normally, historically, have not done much business in the winter window.
I hate it.
Right? And Steve Hitchen wasn't saying there that he hates the window because he just hates doing his job, right? That was a complete time. No, he's saying he hates the winter window because prices go up.
It's chaotic.
Right? Prices go up. Players don't want to, clubs don't want to let people go, right? Because at that point in time, people are worried about their depth, all of this other stuff. Thank you, Darksun G21 for the super chats. Greatly appreciated. And I love your positivity or your optimism there. Paul Marquis, €5. He says, we have missed a big opportunity. In Doku, we can play right wing. Who can play right wing, attacking midfield or striker for 30 million? And he's built like Traore but faster. Don't disagree with you.
There are a few players that we've missed out on. Danny Ings would have been a good option, although I don't know if he would have wanted to come here and play backup. Would we have then moved to a 4-4-2 or played some kind of formation with 2 up top, Danny Ings at 30 million, I think, would have been a decent purchase.
100%.
The Celtic striker that has now gone to Crystal Palace, Eduard, that is a player that some people were calling for to come in as a backup. You know, he's probably going to get a good run of games at Crystal Palace. Good for them. Man, you cannot. I mean, listen, I support Tottenham Hotspur. The players that we have, I'm behind 100%. I hope that Dane Scarlett gets the opportunity and he takes it, he grabs it with both hands and shows that he is ready. But that, like on paper, as a 17-year-old, that is a lot to ask. And we've seen before, sometimes when players get pushed into situations like this too soon, it can stunt their growth, and it can be harmful to their growth, and they can become, I don't want to say lost cause, but they end up not fulfilling their potential. It's just, to me, it's not, if you're trying to become a top 4 side, you just don't rely on a 17-year-old pretty much at any position unless they're an absolute wonder kid, which Scarlett very well could be, but we don't know that for sure yet. So
Yeah, and Dark Stage 20 or Dark Sungji, I don't even know why. Like I speak Korean fluently, and I don't know. I'm having a hard time pronouncing your name. Dark Sungji 21 with 2001. He says, if we get players in, we won't burn out. That's true. That's true. But if we don't get players in, we'll be in trouble. Mr. Simos Funk, congratulations on your Tomiyasu signing this morning. I think he's a good player. I think Tomiyasu will help your club, Simos, crawl out of the mud hole that they're currently sitting in. So, thanks for supporting the channel with a like, and everybody thumbs it up. And Simos, I love you. And even though you are a gooner, but it's the first time that I've seen you since you guys lost again. So I had to give you a little bit of banter, but you know, like some of the other comments that are here, and sorry guys, there's a lot of them coming through right now. So if I miss them, bring them up. You can jump the line with a super chat. I know people don't like that, but it really does. I mean, if you could see what I can see, then I don't even know if this camera's on right now, but like it lights up right here, so you can see it's green and blue. So if you do set up super chat, it does make it stand out. That's how we don't try not to miss them. It's a pretty dank view of things to not believe Bergwijn won't step it up and perform better, to be honest. I'm not sure how this is necessarily a dank view.
I have been one of the staunchest defenders of Steven Bergwijn, because as opposed to a player like Ndombele who lacks attitude and application, I see Bergwijn as a very hardworking player, and I think honestly he's one of the most snake-bit players in the Prem right now. If you go back as far as Liverpool away last year, you know, who knows what happens with Steven Bergwijn if he hits the proper side of the post and curls that one in at Anfield and we go top table over Liverpool. It's not that I don't believe that the thing is, like, there's no evidence to suggest that Steven Bergwijn will do that. He has looked much like he's been improving step by step. I honestly, I went on the pre-match pump up on We Are Tottenham TV. I predicted a 1-0 win. I predicted Steven Bergwijn was going to score. I think if he continues to get the opportunity to take that starting right wing position, I think it's inevitable that he will start to score more goals. I think it's inevitable that he will eclipse his grand total of 1 goal last year in the Premier League. But does he fully replace the output that we had from Gareth Bale? That's a stretch. I'd love it to happen. But there's just there's no, like, where is the like hard evidence to say that he will do that? That's always how I want to look at it, right? I want to be realistic.
Well, it's not even about being realistic. It's simply about being reasonable and rational, right? Being based in reality, right? Like it's very well possible. Steven Bergwijn it is possible for him to score 20 goals this season. It is
30.
possible. But is that a reasonable opinion? Right? And Simos Funk is back there giggling to himself right now that I'm trying to apply reason and logic to a debate about football. But to me, it just, especially him knowing me like he does, he's back there laughing to himself right now, chuckling. But it doesn't change the fact, right, that yes, it is possible, but it's not reasonable. There is no historical pattern by which one could assert that Steven Bergwijn is going to perform any better than what he has to this point. Could he? Yes. Right? The reason why you can reasonably assert that Harry Kane, right, you can induce that Harry Kane will score probably around 18 to 25 goals this season.
He's done it a bunch of times.
He's done it continually, consistently, season after season after season. It is reasonable, right, to induce that Son Heung-min is going to score between 8 and 15 goals this season. Why? Because he's done it season after season after season. But to say Lucas Moura, who has scored 10 goals once out of 4 seasons, is going to score 10 goals this season, when the other 3 of those 4 he scored less than 4, is unreasonable. It is simply irrational. Right? According to the Epistemology 101, that is an unreasonable assertion. Period. It's not up for debate. It's not. I will be singing in the streets if Stevie B gets 10 goals. I will. But there's no reason for me right now to think that that will be the case. I can hope it will be the case. But there's no reason for me to believe that that is the case. If you want to believe that, that's fine. But don't call us negative or dank because we are based in a rational, reasonable world. That's it. Right? If you want to say...
Tell you what, because we do call-in shows before and after matches on the weekends. So it'll be Saturday nights and Sunday nights. And anyone can click on the link and come in and express their opinion. And honestly, we welcome opposing arguments. We love constructive debate. It's what just look at the channel name. It's WillStewartTHFCRants. You want to come on here and you want to back up your argument? Absolutely, you're welcome to come on. We don't have to do it like this. You know, I totally agree with you. Like not being able to defend yourself, that's fine. But you know, it'll be this weekend. We'll be on, man, and you're welcome to come on.
You can come on anytime. And it's not like we're having this completely with just you, Zero the Hero. You have to understand, Cody and I get into these conversations 12 to 18 hours a day, every single day.
We've been getting pushed on this for better part of the summer transfer window, especially the last 7 to 10 days, as we try and like analyze the squad's deficiencies in a statistical and analytical way, and get being. Thing is, like, it's like going back to the start of the show. Facts are neither negative nor positive. So when we say something that is factual and get told that we are negative or dank, it gets old. It gets old. So
Does get old.
We're not necessarily.
Yeah, we're not picking at you. We're not picking on you, Zero.
As we feel, as you might feel we are.
Yeah, and it's not, and it's like, so like, for instance, and it's not even with just people in the comments, right, who throw in one line. We take, no, you have to understand that it's heavier on us right now because we've been having literally this exact same argument with the other half of the Spurs YouTube community. So creators themselves, we have been having this exact same debate. We get called negative by other streamers themselves simply for not being irrationally excited over something that is not evidential. Right? And not just me and Cody. It's almost like the YouTube community right now has been split in half. Where you have people who are making, who are what I call overly optimistic, right? Or maybe you could say irrationally optimistic, which is fine, right? That's fine. But the only thing that bothers me is when people who are being overly optimistic or irrationally optimistic are calling the people who are being grounded in reality negative.
The thing is, like, the way I see it, all right,
and I am thinking happy thoughts, right? That because you know why I'm thinking happy thoughts, don't you, Cody?
Yes, I do.
Because
from the opening whistle from the opening kickoff to the final whistle, I am absolutely behind this team 100%. Doesn't matter who's playing. I want the team to do well. Everybody does, but when it comes to like analysis of the squad. Exactly. I always try and take my Tottenham Hotspur glasses off and look at it from the standpoint somewhat of how a neutral would look at it, and remove the emotion, right? Remove the fandom, remove the supporters' angle on things. I mean, you can take anything that happens with this football club and put a positive spin on it if you want. I see people do it on Twitter all the time. It's just not my style, I deal in facts.
I mean, it's like, too, you guys, if you've, this channel's only been around for, I guess it'll be 6 months in September. But even before that, I've been on watch-alongs. I've hosted watch-alongs on Mass Channel. I've done other things. You guys know me, right? I get excited. I'll get excited every single week for match day. I'll be there. I'll scream at the TV. You've seen me do watch-alongs even on Spurs, on the U.S. men's national team, or whatever I'm doing. I'll be that way every weekend, right? Okay, but it's like on Monday when I go back to my day job, which is here, right, trying to be an amateur pundit for Tottenham Hotspur, I have to be. I mean, do you want me just to be like completely irrational and just be a hype man, right? That's not me, right? We've got people for that, right? Marcelo, right? He's the hype man, right? Marcelo gives you the hype. I give you the reason. And that's what makes the thing cool. DarkSunG21 with another 5,001 super chat. We really do appreciate it. It's a great help to the channel. I'm hoping with Emerson's crosses, Lucas and Stevie could score a lot this season. I feel that Lucas and Stevie have less goals because of Doherty and Aurier. Not so much Lucas, because Lucas plays on that same side, so I don't think he's really going to be receiving crosses. Lucas would be receiving crosses from Regulon. Stevie B, very well could be. Very well could be. The only thing that it makes me doubt that is if you kind of, and I can't remember what show was it on. Was it on Late Night THFCRants? Was the pre-match? Maybe it was on Stell's show. I don't remember. But Stevie kind of comes late into the box. His positioning or his IQ in getting into high-scoring opportunity positions is not very good right now. That can be taught. But I think it's definitely something that he's that's good. Mildly entertaining. I hope to be extremely entertaining at some point. I'll put a wig on if that helps. But no, we're not. I'm not taking it personally. Right? I'm not taking it personally. Well, again, like I said, think it's a dank view to not having the belief. I have the belief, right? I have hope that we can improve. I do. We can logically conclude that I don't think we can logically conclude that Nuno is somewhat satisfied with our attackers. I think he has no other choice.
Yeah, like I don't think Nuno is in control of transfers.
Well, in fact, we know that for a fact that he's not.
Yeah, but he can work with Paratici and Daniel Levy and Steve Hitchen on what he thinks is needed, but I don't think he is picking the players. You just look at the players. Look at the players that we're being linked with. Overwhelming majority of them.
Jerry, I actually did this. Exact exercise on Sunday. I actually did this on Sunday. There were a lot. Some people caught on to it, right? There were a lot of people who it completely went over their head. Even probably still to this day, they don't realize what I was doing. And I literally threw up in my mouth like 12 times. No, I didn't literally throw up. That's a lie. But, yeah, I hear you, man. So he's like, let's try it. Positivity has every now and then Harry Winks makes an acceptable pass. No, it doesn't feel believable. I agree with you. I agree with you, Jerry. Great comment. And thoughts on the report saying Winks has impressed Nuno. I haven't seen that report, so I couldn't comment. Have you seen that report?
Yeah, I've seen that report. Was
that in like an Alistair Gold article or something, or what?
I didn't even bother. I didn't want to get upset. But basically, like, the way that I saw it, someone had quote tweeted and said, translation, we can't get rid of him. But Winks did play better in the second leg against Passos. So
I love it, TB. I don't know who you are, but I'm catching your deal.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think the thing is like
Sky Sport from the Sun. Yeah, those are really reliable sources.
Harry Winks doesn't want to leave Tottenham. We know that. So if he doesn't want to leave Spurs, then we're not gonna get rid of him.
Zero the hero, I love you, man. You're a hero. I'm not.
Zero the hero. Can you answer my question? Who is our third best proven Premier League goal scorer over the last 2 seasons?
But I mean, it's like existing evidence isn't generally how football coaches work with unproven players either. No, they train them, right? In hopes that they'll get better, right? I have a coaching license as well. But I'm not coaching these players. I'm analyzing them. And in an analysis, we go by existing evidence. But like Scott says, yeah, we love you. I do, seriously do. you're helping giving us content, so that's good. But I agree with Scott M. Coaches do use evidence-based analysis in order to improve their coaching abilities, right? Yes, if I'm a coach, if I were coaching Stevie B, would I go up to him and say, over the past 2 seasons, your scoring ability is below what is required for the team, and therefore you're shit? Would I tell him that to his face? No. Right? But what I would say, knowing the actual data, is I would go to Stevie B and I'd say, hey man, I'm behind you. I trust you. We're going to, but we really need more goals this season. As you know, we don't have, Bale's not here anymore. Vinicius isn't here anymore. So let's work together to really step it up. Try to motivate him, knowing the truth in my head. Right. But Stevie B doesn't watch my show, I don't think. And Stevie B, if you do watch my show, that's exactly what you should do.
Send a super chat. Send a super chat, Stevie B. We love you.
I'm analyzing the position of the squad. Right. So, like, in the coaches' meeting, the coaches, I'm sure, are talking like Cody and I are talking. When they're talking with the players, they're not. Why? Because they don't want to shit on their confidence. Stevie B, as far as I know, does not watch my show. And 2, I'm not his coach. I'm a fan of the club who wants to see us win trophies and titles. Titles and trophies.
And that's the problem that I have with the window, is that we haven't addressed our immediate needs to give us the depth that we need to fight effectively on all 4 fronts. I see our squad being stretched too thin in order to make sure that we progress in the various cup competitions. I see our prime assets in Heung-min Son and Harry Kane being relied upon too much. Son's already banged up. We know that. He's had his hamstring taped up. It's the same hamstring that he injured it back in February or March. Oh, it was March against the Gooners. I just don't know. I don't know how we fight on both fronts this season. I think we're going to be put in a position where we have to either choose, where we're going to have to make sacrifices, pick and choose.
He's already gone. They've already announced it.
Pick and choose where we employ Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, and that won't guarantee anything either.
Yeah.
This to me, it's 6th place with no cups is kind of like what I'm. The feeling that I'm getting from this squad currently.
Yeah, I mean, just to even kind of just look at. I mean, that's it. All right, and Emerson Royal, I can't even find a picture of him. And Pepe Sarr, even though we've signed him, definitely not a player that helps us this year at all, because we've loaned him back to the club we bought him from. And Brian Hill, I think he's got some good. I think he's got good talent, and he's going to be a good prospect. I think he'll be a very good player for us in 2 to 3 years. But I think that there's going to be some growing pains this season, right? So, are we going to get as much from him as we could if he was, at his prime at 23, 24? Absolutely not. Right. So does that help us this season in order to prove? Because you know what? I mean, honestly, how many times this window did we go in for a player and they said, I don't want to fucking go to Tottenham?
A few times, yeah.
So if we want people to respect us as a club, then we need to improve our position this year so that we can even sign better players next season, right? It's like if we don't do good business this year, in order to improve our position, get into at least Europa League. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't like negativity, if we don't make it into at least Europa League, you better just unsubscribe, because this is going to be negative house 24/7.
Well, we're flirting with the Arsenal path. That's what we're flirting with, right?
Right.
We're flirting with having to pay the kind of prices that Arsenal have had to pay this summer to bring in mediocre players, right?
Yeah. And like, see, this is the problem. This is the problem, like numero uno, right? I have a problem with this type of thinking, right? 5 guys in, not bad. No, 4 guys in, actually. Because the 5th one is we loaned back to his original club, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, look at that. There's different ways you can look at that, because the fact that we loaned him back to Metz is the difference between that player being an asset of Tottenham Hotspur and being an asset of Chelsea Football Club. So that's huge. I don't mind that.
Right, but I mean, 4 guys in doesn't necessarily mean that those 4 guys are going to improve our first team, right? Like Brian Hill. Is he going to this is the thing that I wanted. I don't see any current evidence to support a rational belief that Brian Hill is going to even help our squad as much as his outgoing the person he replaced, which is Eric Lamela. Right? There's no evidence to support that belief. I can think that he will. I can hope that he will. But right now, there's no evidence to support that. Right? Due to his age, due to his experience, right? At least we knew Eric Lamela, when he came on the pitch, was going to run around, hound people, get lots of yellow cards, and like stomp on feet, right? Like, we knew that. Even if he wasn't scoring goals, we knew what Eric Lamela could accomplish on the pitch in a match. Right? Christian Romero, number 1 defender in Serie A. This Christian Romero, great signing in my opinion. Right? Yeah, great signing.
I agree. Yeah.
Right. That is a rational and reasonable position to say. Now, is it fact that he's going to replicate that performance, his past performances in the Premier League? No, it's not. But there is rational and reasonable evidence to have a justifiable belief that will happen. Why? Because he's consistently produced results. Could he turn out to be a Tanguy on Ndombele for us in defense? Absolutely. Do I think that that's going to happen? No. I don't have any reason to believe that. Right? I don't have any reason to believe that yet. Luigi Golini, backup goalkeeper. Is he better than Joe Hart? Yes. Cool. Upgrade. Is it something that's going to really infect us week in, week out? No. Do I necessarily think that Golini is necessarily better than like Gazzaniga for cup competitions?
Maybe.
Right? Maybe. Pepe Sarr, not an issue. He's not coming back. Emerson Royale, new signing for that today. People that don't know, the only actual season games he's played for Barcelona is a few minutes this season, at the beginning of the season in the first 3 games, right? Before that, he played in some preseason matches and he's been on loan. So he's not really a Barcelona player. They purchased him so that they could sell him to us, right? The guy's been bounced around from club to club to 2019. What I've seen of him, and what I had watched in the league last season, and the research that I've done, is that he has got a yellow card and or a red card in him, just like Serge Aurier does. Hopefully, Serge Aurier, I think, attacking-wise, is a great fullback. I mean, Serge Aurier scored a lot of goals for us, right? Averaging 3 to 4 attacking returns a year. True, false, true. I mean, regardless of that he's kind of a hothead who is hard to handle in the dressing room, as well as on the pitch, right? I mean, we all saw the documentary where what Jose, called him out. Emerson Royale has the exact same historical trend. Does that mean that he's going to be a high-head at Tottenham Hotspur? Does that mean that Nuno can't knock that out of him? Does that mean that... No, of course it can happen. I'm simply going by what is known about the player, not what could be. Right?
Yeah, we're not big on if.
He could be the next Marcelo.
If Tottenham win more points than any other team in the Premier League this year, we will be Premier League champions. Right? That is if. I do think like, okay, so as much as we've stated our case for why this window has not been great for this season, I do think that this window has the potential, 2 years from now, we might look back on this window as being a completely transformative window. In some respects, we have done some addition by subtraction as well. We've got rid of Eric Lamela, injury prone, and God bless him. I have no issue with Eric Lamela. He played for the badge. He loved the club. He had to be convinced to leave the club, and then he was asked, and he agreed to it. He did the club a favor by agreeing to go to Sevilla, in my opinion. Moussa Sissoko is gone. A player who has been rumored to be a problem. You saw it in the Amazon documentary. As soon as Jose was speaking with some of his assistants, and they said Sissoko is the guy in the dressing room, Jose didn't like that very much. Pretty sure he said F, like the F word, like getting Moussa Sissoko to Watford when he has 2 years left on his wages at almost £100,000 a week. That's a huge deal. That's a big deal. Toby Alderweireld, another player who is past his prime, who, if he had stayed at Tottenham this season, would have been a declining version of himself, was also on a fairly substantial wage with 2 years left on his deal. Maybe one of our more reliable defenders, but couldn't play 2 games a week and be relied upon that way. And again, would be a depreciating asset, both in terms of value, monetarily, and on the pitch. Also another player who is, rumored to be a problem in the dressing room as well. So, and then, like other players that left on a free, Danny Rose, we sold Joe Hart, who is useless. Overall, when you take a step back and you look at the window as a whole, there's been a lot of movement, and it's probably more than I would have expected at the beginning of the window. It just hasn't convinced me in terms of how it's going to impact the team this season. That is how I would describe it.
Yeah, and then too, and I'm not sure if I read this or not, but I'll read it again just because I love Doug G21. All of his comments, whether on this channel or other channels, he always has good points. At least we spent our money wisely, unlike the scum. And I think we've done better than the scum with our money. I don't know if it's necessarily been wisely spent. I don't know if I would agree with you necessarily on that particular position.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Ben White could be a great purchase. Doesn't look like it right now. Odegaard, I think, has been a good purchase for them. Tomiyasu has been a good purchase. Ramsdale doesn't make much sense to me, especially after you just sold Emi Martinez like a year ago. Doesn't make any sense. As much as we are laughing and stomping on the scum right now, it's great. They have had one of the toughest first 3 games of anyone in the Premier League. Now, they've looked terrible in losing and not scoring and only getting 7 shots on goal. They've looked absolutely terrible, but Chelsea are probably the best team in the league. Man City are probably the second best team in the league, if not on the same level as Chelsea. Pick your poison there. And to be going to Brentford away, that's a tough game to start your season with on a Friday night, the only game in town. Brentford, great story, 74 years out of the top flight. It was always going to be a difficult game, and the thing is, knowing that you have Man City and Chelsea, that's a lot of pressure. It's kind of like Brentford was almost like a must-win game. I don't think we're going to see Arsenal stay in the relegation zone into October, right?
Yeah, and like
And
to this point here,
I don't think Arsenal will be a walk in the park when we go away to them on the 26th.
I don't think they will either. We'll see. Well, last night, and these are points too that it's like, dude, man, come on, watch his video. You'll know, because the part he says, I can't say I agree, but I wonder what makes him say that. Watch the video. He says why he says it.
It's because we kept Harry Kane.
It's because we kept Harry Kane. It has nothing to do with the people we brought in.
Yeah.
It's very, it's that's not good. It's not a good rationale, right? It's very easy to tell why Fabrizio Romano said that, because he specifically says why he said it. No mystery there. And for people who are saying that I'm going to eat my words on Brian Hill, why would I eat my words? The only thing I've said about him is that I don't think that there's no evidence to support that he's going to be any more of an impactful player than LaMelo last season. That's all I've said.
Doesn't mean it's not possible. It doesn't mean it's not possible. He could come in. He could assume that number 10 role. He could be the creative link that we've been missing.
In fact, I hope he does.
Yeah.
Right? I hope he does. I don't want...
We can't sit here and say that that's a guaranteed thing. We can't sit here and say that. That's all.
Right. I would be lying to all of you, right? All 1,400 of you who subscribe to my channel. I would be lying to you if I came on here and said, you know what? Brian Hill's going to score 20 goals for us this season. We're going to win the league. Yeah. Come on, you Spurs. That would be a lie. I'm not a liar. I'm not. Sorry. I can't do it. Exactly. Brian Hill. Ballon d'Or. Fact. I don't know why I'm bringing the kid down. Did I play the Harry Winks drinking emo? Every time he makes a mistake, take a shot.
Every time he makes a sideways pass.
Cody plays that game every single night that we do a show.
Sometimes. Regretfully on Sunday. Monday was a long day.
It will...
Look, I'm not saying it was the hardest start, but newly promoted teams are most difficult to play when they're level on points with everybody else. And I don't think Brentford away was a cakewalk, The
difference between
like I said, with Chelsea and Man City lurking with your second and third weeks, Brentford away would have been, okay, we have to win this game or else we're going to be sitting on 0 points after 3 weeks. And here they are. So that's my logic for that.
No, it is not better, Zero the Hero, to take fluff numbers out of the air and be positive about what we have than focusing on what is actual. That is not better.
Just depends what you're trying to accomplish. Like this is not a show meant to like excite people about supporting Tottenham Hotspur. It's, we're not cheerleaders.
I mean, I do cheer. I can cheer. I can go buy some pom-poms. Right? I love Tottenham Hotspur, and I want us to win. We are trying to give you guys the best information that we can provide to you. Right? There are times when this show is entertaining. There's times when the show is informational. When we're trying to be informational, I think that I would be giving the community a disservice if I was being irrational. That's it. I mean, I could put on my glasses and give you guys a different point of view. I mean, just saying. Let's look at the news. What's going on here recently, transfer wise, just from, all over the world. We got Human Sun who says, I I'm almost the oldest player here after Hugo. I always try to help the young lads. It's not only me, but all players take responsibility in the dressing room. On and off the pitch. And that is a good sign. Let's keep doing this. According to Spurs official. Some transfer news. Jules Koundé deal between Chelsea and Sevilla is now off. Thank God. No agreement, no intention to negotiate, and no clause matches. Real Madrid, breaking news at 8 minutes ago, have submitted an official bid today for Kylian Mbappe for 200 million euros. Reported, it's a 200 million guaranteed for PSG. No answer yet from PSG. No intention of sell yet. For people who knew it. Talk Sport, a little quote from Mr. Harry Kane. A lot of people will say I am a professional athlete who's dedicated my life to this game, and I'll continue to. I will look forward now. The aim has always been to win silverware with Tottenham, and it's been that aim every year.
I've got Football London. Rob Guest has written a little story here about Emerson Royal. Is it Royal or Royale? Probably Royal. Emerson Royal has stated that he is very happy to be at one of the best clubs in the world after completing his move to Tottenham from Barcelona. A priority position for Fabio Paratici all summer, Spurs managing director of football finally managed to strengthen at right back with the acquisition of the 22-year-old ahead of Tuesday's 11 p.m. transfer deadline. Emerson has signed a 5-year contract at Tottenham until 2026, with the Lily Whites paying 30 million euros to Barcelona for the highly rated player. The new signing will wear the number 12 shirt at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium following his move to the club. In a video message posted on the club's Twitter account, the new signing has claimed that he is looking forward to arriving in the capital and getting down to work.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. That's just kind of what's happened over the last 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to be a long streaming day. I'm sure the folks that are watching too are looking for different opinions and views as well. But I like to keep people informed. If you're watching this, you may not be on your Twitter feed. Looks
what
like,
are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the Mbappe?
We're not in the Champions League this year, so I really don't care where Mbappe plays, to be honest with you.
No, but how do you like? What do you think about PSG turning down 200 million euro if they do? 1 year left on his deal.
They're dumb.
Are they?
Yeah.
Why?
He's leaving next year on a free.
But you want to win the Champions League, don't you?
Yeah, but I think they could do it without Mbappe.
You send Mbappe to Real Madrid, does it increase or decrease the likelihood that you win the Champions League?
Who else does Real Madrid have right now?
Everybody they had last year except Varane.
Varane and what's his name? Who now plays for PSG? Sergio Ramos.
Ramos, yeah.
Their defense is already filled with holes.
Why
and you're giving up 200 million euros that you could end up spending on Erling Haaland next season if you wanted to. For Mbappe, who's already made it obvious that he wants to leave the club and has for a while. It doesn't make sense to me. Right? You have Lionel Messi that you've just signed. You already have Neymar. Right? You have Icardi. You have other people who can make up Mbappe's goals, right? Like my if we had other players that we've brought in or that could make up for Harry Kane's goals, I wouldn't have a problem with selling Harry Kane. The reason why I am against selling Harry Kane is because without his goals, we are fucked. Right? And we're in a position where we can't go out and buy a player to replace him. Right? But that amount of money, man, when you've got the squad that you've already brought in the players that you've brought in. I mean, heck, you could turn around and flop that right back over to Daniel Levy and get Harry Kane if you wanted to. I bet you could. You know what I mean?
Barcelona are progressing in negotiations to sign Luke de Jong from Sevilla. Talks now advanced to sign Dutch striker. Personal terms agreed. And club close to reach an agreement. That's from Fabrizio Romano 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I have no idea where they're getting the cash from, but they got it from somewhere.
Jules Koundé deal between Chelsea and Sevilla is now off. No agreement, no intention to negotiate, and no clause matches.
Yeah, I just read that 5 minutes ago.
Sorry.
Mr. Colin Lumsdale, he says, here, I already read that one. I'm just curious, Numero Nuno, whoever you really are. Where were you when the hashtag No to Nuno was trending? Curious. I'm curious.
I mean, why wouldn't Tottenham want to finish at the top of the Premier League? Why just
if you're going to dream big.
Yeah, come on. Like, let's do the quadruple. And then we'd be like...
Well, we can't win the Champions League because we're not in it, right? But I guess you could, if you're counting the Conference League
European Cup, baby. UEFA coefficient points.
I mean, if you're going to dream, if you're going to be irrationally optimistic, just go for the gold, man.
Do it right, man.
Don't be average in your optimism. Let's just go. Right? And that's kind of my point. Like, if you're going to be overly optimistic, let's just all be overly optimistic. I'm cool with that.
Fuck it. No facts, just vibes.
These
eyes don't lie, Will. These eyes don't lie.
If we're not trying to be accurate, let's just go. Let's just go, man. Let's do it, right? I think we're gonna be the new Invincibles, the perfect Invincibles. We'll go 38-0-0.
Score 38 goals.
We will score 38 goals, and we'll concede none. That's what
we're on pace for.
There's more evidence for that right now than anything else. There is more of a historical pattern for that right now than any of the other assertions that people are making. Just so you know, if that is more reasonable. That is more reasonable. Yeah, just kick it up. All right. Do I need to transform into BJ here if we want positive vibes? I mean, I can.
I don't have my shades down here, so Modi quack.
Forget which side's the front. Let's go, boys. We're winning the league.
What do you think? Griezmann to Atletico Madrid? Is this on?
I don't know. Griezmann's garbage.
Why would you pay for him? 50 million euro plus his salary.
Barcelona needs to get rid of people.
La Liga is so weird.
That league is dumb, man.
I am so like it's difficult to understand that league.
No, Jerry, that one's BJ. Brian Will is.
That's Brian Will right there.
This one is Brian Will. Yeah. Side.
More like Brian Dorr. guaranteed Ballon d'Or winner.
I will win the Ballon d'Or in 2 seasons. I will win it. Believe in me.
I find the spectrum on Twitter fascinating, like the number of people who are like freaking out about the window.
You're right, there are a lot of people on the spectrum in Twitter, that's for sure.
And then there's like the people who are like, I think this is a great window. I think it does. It just depends how you look at it, you know.
I don't know. Was that a French accent? Reload XXXXX, the voice of reason. Decent starting 11. The squad is poor. I don't disagree with you on that at all. I don't. Interesting comment. Which one's an interesting comment? My comment? What comment did I make that was interesting? Or are you talking about this one? I don't think it is impossible for us to... Of course it's not impossible. It's not impossible. Is it likely? Is it reasonable to deduce? No, it is not. Will, have you been spending in the club shop? Levy's wigs? Does Levy wear a wig? I didn't know they sold wigs in the club shop. But I actually did spend in the club shop. I don't know if I didn't buy it from the club shop. I bought it from Amazon. But I don't know if it was from the club shop or not because they were shipped from the UK. So I bought some autographed pictures of Harry Kane because I thought there was a chance he could leave this window. And Mr. K is high on paint, and therefore he thinks that this is a great window.
Just don't paint that window shut. Whichever window you're looking at, if you're painting.
Don't paint over the window.
Tape it off first before you paint. Send me a picture of the window, though.
Missing the point there. What's the point? If I'm missing the point, then tell me what the point is. You guys confuse me sometime.
Do you think that there's one little surprise move left up the sleeve for Tottenham, or are we being?
I don't know, dude. Look.
Are we being this is like a classic misdirection, under promise, over deliver? You know, bam, last second.
I don't think so. I don't think so because we actually signed Emerson Royale last night, like before I went to bed last night, right? And so they held that news until 6:30 p.m. today in order to make it look like we did something. You know what I mean? And apparently, like, the Traore deal was going to happen. Like, Adama Traore was going to happen, and Livy came in and is like, no.
£50 million for Traore?
I don't want to spend that, man, but we need a right winger, dude.
50 million for Traore?
We need a right winger. Unless we're going to take Son out of position.
But 50 million.
It wasn't 50 million. It was 50 million euro.
No.
40 million euro is what it was.
I read 50
yes.
million.
No, it's 40 million euro. That's what we had.
I read 50 million pound today is what Wolves were standing firm on.
I haven't seen that.
I'll see if I can find that.
Says Spurs are turning down loan offers for their academy players. I don't know why we do that. Probably because our squad is pretty thin. But dude, Alistair Gold has been on a banter mode today, man.
Yeah.
He made fun of the Emerson Royale signing. He made fun of The club not accepting loans. Like, he's on a warpath, dude. He's on the war path. Definitely not a goal machine. But he creates a lot of chances. Sure does. What did he say? What did Alistair Gold say? About Emerson? When they did that whole post of Tottenham Hotspur is proud to announce the something of a new royal. It was like the comeback of Ledley King is on. Get it? And then now see, I think this is a valid point. Mr. Wan Mahadadiz Wan Mahadad Gazila. I butchered your name and I'm sorry. This is rational, reasonable, and plausible. I like it.
But the thing is does he really replace Carlos Vinicius?
Not in the same factor, but as far as attacking returns is concerned, this is plausible. It's reasonable. Rational. Is it plausible? Is it rational and reasonable to assume that Bryan Hill can get one Premier League goal this season and maybe 5 or 6 in Europe competitions? I think it is.
Right, but you're not going to start him at striker.
No, you're not.
Which means you're starting Harry Kane or Dane Scarlett. I get it.
Right, I mean, Son didn't play a lot of those early European matches either, right? And so if you're looking at, can Bryan Hill replicate what Eric Lamela did? Either way, can he replicate the number of attacking returns that Vinicius did? Yes. Does that still leave us behind? Yes, because then you have to say who's going to replace Eric Lamela's contributions in Europe, right? But it's still, if you're the premise here is logical. Because he's still saying we're short, right? He's still saying we're short this season. He's simply equating those two attacking players, right? Troy plays on the right more often than he plays on the left. Just so you know. Historically. And if you're going to push me for evidence, I will show you heat maps. You're not going to like.
So, what would you rate this summer transfer window out of 10, Will?
If I'm being charitable,
in the comments, let us know what you rated as well.
Yeah, everybody rate the transfer window in the comments, and we'll go
one
over
number from 0 to 10.
Blank/10. Put in your number now. Blank out of 10. 1/10, 2/10, 10/10, 100/10. What do you rank this number in the window? If I'm being charitable, based on the standards that I set, which was 2 center backs. We didn't get 2 center backs, but we did get 2 defenders technically. Charitableness, I would say 6 out of 10. What's my actual opinion of the window? 3 out of 10.
Woo!
3 out of 10. Because right now we have 4 right backs.
Yeah.
4 right backs, about 12 left wingers, 37 midfielders, and no right wingers, and 1 striker.
I'd give it a 5 in the context of what we can do this season. You know, like, have we done enough in this summer transfer window to put us in a good position to win a cup, which would be huge in terms of keeping Harry Kane for the remaining 2 years or even getting him on a new contract? No, we have not. But we have invested in a lot of upside. This window, like I said earlier, we could look back at this window in 2 or 3 years and absolutely think it was a 10 out of 10. It has that upside, that ceiling. But there's just glaring issues that have been ignored. There's so many things that have to go right for us to compete this year for that fourth spot. I don't see us finishing above Chelsea, Man City, or United as the squad stands. I think we would probably need some good luck to finish above Liverpool. And I think our competitors for that fourth spot also include Leicester City and West Ham.
And yeah, Brad Matthews says, hi guys. The players seem to be responding well to Nuno's tactics, coaching, and in my opinion, enjoying the football again under Jose. I didn't see that. I don't disagree with you that towards the end of the season that there was a lot of the dross in the club was not enjoying themselves. I think the quality players were not enjoying themselves the second half of the season, not because of Jose, but because of the dross, right? The dead wood that's there. The beginning half of the season, we were top of the league, you know, going into the table. It looked like everybody was enjoying themselves to me. Yeah, I think it's too early to tell whether or not the people who have historically been a dead weight on us are going to be a dead weight on us this season, right? We've had 3 matches. Most of them haven't played.
Winning
and we've
helps.
Barely won.
Everything talked about in that super chat, winning helps.
Sure.
Right? But we're bound to hit a rough patch at some point. And look, every Premier League team faces faces adversity at some point, whether it be a bad run of form or a rash of injuries or whatnot. That'll be the real test. Because as much as we've removed some of the players that have been suspected of being problems in the locker room, there's still a lot of players here. We don't know what'll happen when they face that adversity. We don't know. Will they stand by the manager? We'll see. This is,
I mean, just even going through a lot of these, even Zero the Hero, who's on our case like a 6, like, dude, 60%. That's a D. You know what I mean? That's not good. So you're giving the transfer window a D. I agree with you. It's damn awful. 6, 4, 4. Okay, we got a C here from Marcelo. 3, 5, 4. Look, Arsenal fans are saying it's a 9. There you go. Well, compared to your window, it is. That's not hard to do, though. 4, 4, 3, 7, 5, 5.69. I like that.
Think about
6.
Think about it from the perspective too about what
10. He's a 10. Like a 10.
Think about what the other clubs have done, right? Chelsea have added Lukaku. Huge for them. Man City have stood still, but their B team, many other squad players would walk into our starting 11 if we're being honest. United have brought in Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo, and they're rumored to be in for Ruben Neves. We'll see if that happens as well. Liverpool, a little bit quieter, but they did bring in Konate. Have we done better than the other teams in terms of, in the context of like being competitive this season? Have we made additions for now, here and now, that are gonna?
The only The only top four side that I see that we maybe have a more productive window than is Liverpool, but they had a better squad than us in the first place. They don't have a lot of depth either right now, but their first 11 on paper is far better than ours is. I'm sorry, it just is.
Man City have essentially stood still, and have we really closed the gap that much on them? The gap, which was a wide gap, not really. So
no, we haven't. We're lucky. We'll be lucky, I think, to scrap as many goals. I mean, we may get more points out of a more sound defense thanks to Christian Romero and Nuno Espirito Santo.
Even the fitness of the players is going to play a role. We've seen that. We've finished games out stronger already. All 3 games we've finished out strong. Maybe not the Wolves game, but we've.
But I mean, as far as attacking is concerned, we had a better start last season than we have this season, attacking wise.
We did.
So I don't understand why there's even a debate of how our attack is not weaker than it was last season.
There isn't.
People seem to want to debate it.
Yes. That's fine. They're welcome to try.
Good luck with that.
And the thing is, like, saying you're wrong is not debate. So
no,
go ahead. You can say I'm wrong. Just prove it. That's all. Prove it. But like, look, this window could have been much worse. At least for me, like, as much as it's upsetting that we haven't made moves for here and now, and that we're still in a precarious situation in terms of attacking returns, you can see the bigger picture. You can see the demographic in which Paratici is shopping. You can see that we've taken advantage of some financially stricken clubs. And I mean, Sevilla fans were totally pissed off that we got Bryan Hill. Barcelona fans have been reacting. I mean, you're always those Barcelona fans, they're going to be pissed off no matter what. But there's a lot of Barcelona fans that are upset that we've got Emerson. And the fact that other big clubs were in on Pape, is it Pape or Papa? Pape? Pape? Papa Matasar. The fact that other big clubs
call him Papa. Call him Big Papa.
I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Papa Sar.
This window could have been
£15 million
much
on a kid we can't even use.
This window could have been much worse, and getting rid of some of the players that we've got rid of. Yeah, we didn't get rid of
yet to be determined. If it could have been worse.
Well, we could have done nothing.
But then you're not losing the money. Right? It's worse to buy players that are turn out to be than it is to buy nothing at all.
Right, but I mean, you fail at everything that you don't actually try to do. At least we're trying to improve the team, whether it's for now or for the future. Yeah, I can say that we are. Not like in the context like we've said. But at least there's a direction. There seems to be a direction. There seems to be a plan. More so than we have basically since Paul Mitchell left. Right?
But it looks like we've forked out right now about 55.2 million pounds and then 2 loans.
Yeah, but like those loans are probably both going to be exercised.
The Galini one, I'm not so sure on. The Romero one, hopefully, yeah. Probably.
Galini becomes an obligation if he plays 20. It's a 2-year loan with an option to buy. That becomes an obligation if he plays 20.
2-year loan?
I think so. So I think that's just an inevitability that Galini gets picked up. And we didn't really generate much in the way of revenue from player sales, right?
I could tell you who out.
So
after I stop yawning.
If you want to lump in those, if Galini and Romero are just inevitably going to be purchased, we have spent money. More than I was expecting.
Outgoing Not seeing any outgoing information, unfortunately. Oh, if this like group doesn't matter. Why on my phone did it show both incoming and outgoing? And on my computer, it's only showing the. Current season's transfers.
Would you have taken
Departures.
Ademola Lookman?
Who?
Lookman from Fulham. He's
Eugene?
going to Leicester. No, Ademola. Yeah.
Let's check. I don't know. But we got Juan Foyth. We got 13.5 million pound out of Toby Alderweireld. We got 11.7. Musa Sissoko for 3 million. Joe Hart for 1 million. If there was any bit of business, it was getting £1 million out of Joe Hart. And then we let Danny Rose go on a free. Eric Lamela went on a free. Paul Gazzaniga went on a free. We loaned Papasar out. We loaned Alfie Whiteman out. Gareth Bale ended his loan, and Carlos Vinicius ended his loan. So we got 29.43 is the sum. And we spent 60.21. So we've spent 30 million. Great window.
Well, we spent 30 million with a lot more basically obligated.
Yeah. Not that much more. 15 for Golini and 50 for Romero. It's not even 50, it's €50, right? So
it's 47 million pound. According to Sky Sports, which is 55 million euro for Romero.
Okay.
So close to 70 million euro. It's not chump change.
It's like 15 million pound or €15, or I can't remember.
So net spend what? Net spend close to 100 million. That's
if we sign those loans, right? So
Romero
that's technically not in this window.
No, but
I mean like for instance, like if you look at the transfers that were completed, we actually signed Giovanni Lo Celso last year, not the year before that.
Yep.
So it goes in it's not included in this year's transfer budget because it wasn't spent. The wages are usually spent, but not the fee.
Yeah, it's not the greatest window of all time. It's not the worst window of all time. We're rolling the dice. We're playing with fire, in my opinion.
Scott Helper, we have, I guess if that's in dollars. I try to not do dollars when I'm in pounds, but 60 million pound, 30 million, 60 million pound out, 30 million pound in. We, basically, spent almost 31 million pounds, or 31 million. 31 million. Back to what if phrase. I don't use ifs that aren't reasonable. When did Spurs ever have a very good window historically? Last season? Pretty good. Sure it was. What was wrong with last season's window?
We bought Matt Doherty last season.
One out of the group that came in last season was
we bought Joe Hart last season.
He came on free. We didn't buy him.
Well, okay. Well, if we didn't buy him, then does he count? Like we brought him in, right? It's a signing. We bought 7 players, right?
Right. We got Giovanni Lo Celso, right? We made his loan permanent.
Okay.
Sergio Reguilon.
Is that good or bad?
Right now, in my opinion, it's bad, but
Okay,
Some people's opinion is good.
That's one bad.
Joe
Hart, bad.
Sergio Reguilon's been good.
Sergio Reguilon he's been okay. He was terrible after Christmas last year. Let's be honest.
Well, everybody was.
Yeah, but he was especially terrible.
You have 2 or 3 bad games in that whole run after Christmas?
Let's put Sergio in good. That's fine.
Yeah, he was good. And Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was a good signing.
Højbjerg, good.
Joe Rodon's a good signing.
Can you justify that?
Yeah. When he's played well.
How much
other than his one mistake against Liverpool, I can't think of a mistake that he played. It's not his fault that coaches aren't playing him.
He almost cost us the draw at Stamford Bridge.
Well, almost making a mistake isn't the same thing as making a mistake.
Well, just because a mistake doesn't end up at the back of the net, does it mean it's not a mistake? Joe Rodon has barely played for us. Joe Rodon has played
Joe Rodon is a good player.
I think Joe Rodon could be a good player, but can we say that unequivocally that he has been a good signing so far?
Has he been a good signing for us? Is that you or me? Oh, it's the I hate ads.
We could put him in the middle if you want. Yet to be determined.
Let me see. He's got an unknown injury, whatever that means.
Okay.
If you're going to ask me for an evidential explanation, I have to give you data, don't I?
Right now we got GLC bad, GLC bad, Matt Doherty bad, Joe Hart bad, Højbjerg good.
Yeah.
Rodon.
Vinicius.
Reguilon good. Vinicius. I mean,
good.
Yeah, he did a job.
I mean, in Europe, he was good. I had no problems with his performance in
Was Bale
Europe.
good?
Yeah. Bale was good.
Okay, so if we put Vinicius and Bale in good, that's 4 out of the 7.
2,
4 out of the 8.
3, 4. Yeah. Better than this year.
We didn't use Joe Rodon in Europa for whatever reason. You know, he wasn't there.
We didn't even get registered because
he wasn't able to get registered for the group stage because of he was in the second deadline there. But when we had the opportunity to register him, Jose did not do that.
And only person we sold that entire window was Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah. So I wouldn't like. I think you could
we
probably
spent $87 million.
You could probably make arguments like. Thing is, like, I think Bale and Vinicius's usage was an issue. Whether that came down to the management or not.
Joe Rodon's the same thing.
Yeah.
His performance as a center back in the Euros was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was pretty good at Euros. But like,
and even when he played for us, he wasn't. He was by far. I would say that there is a good argument to be made that he was our second best right or center back of the season last season. Sanchez and Dyer were far worse than Joe Rodon ever was.
I just don't see how you can say that he was 100% a good signing at this point, considering
I wouldn't say he's like he would be. By good, do I mean?
He's played.
Would meet my expectation. Like, would I go out and buy Joe Rodon if I had, $50 million to go buy a center back? No, I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't.
He played 733 minutes last year, and all of us were wondering where is Joe Rodon when Dyer was given, unlimited leash because he speaks Portuguese or whatever. Yet to be determined, I guess.
Yeah. TBD.
Generally, we don't have a good record buying players, though, especially when we spend large sums of money, right?
TBD, but so far, I mean, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has been great. I mean, that one signing alone, I think, makes up for at least one of the two of the Rossi ones. I mean, Matt Doherty, is he good? Yes. Has he been an absolute disgusting signing?
Is he good? Yes.
No, I mean, is he bad? Yes.
Oh, you said, is he good? Yes.
But has he been disgustingly bad? No.
Yes.
No, he hasn't been disgustingly bad.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
No, there are many of the games last season where he had a 6 out of 10 performance. Yes, there were a few matches where he had zeros, right? But not as many as Serge Aurier's had.
Oh, I disagree.
I don't. No.
I think Doherty's been terrible. I think he's looked absolutely atrocious. Tell me Tell me one game where Matt Doherty had a good game. His best game was Everton last year.
A few. I could give me a second. I'll tell you.
But you have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't have photographic memory that I can tell you empirically what his
I've found
player
your memory to
ratings
be
were
quite good, to be honest.
I do have a good memory, but I don't remember every detail of every match that he played.
Do you remember Doherty in the North London Derby in March?
It's one It's one example.
Yeah.
17 matches he played, started 13. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right off the bat, he was brought in to provide at least competition, if not start over Serge Aurier, right?
Right.
Everybody wanted Aurier out,
okay.
He was poor.
He was decent against Fulham. He was decent against Palace. He was decent against Villa. He was horrible against Arsenal, and he was average against Leicester.
How has he looked
That's
this
just
year?
the last 5 performances.
How has he looked against Passos de Ferreira?
Like I said, I only watched 20 minutes of that game, so I couldn't tell you from an eye test point of view.
Man, I'm sorry. He's a bad signing. He's a bad signing. That was a waste of money. We paid, 15, 16 mil for that guy? Put him on 4 years? We can't get rid of him. Nobody wants him. He's crap. Doherty is toilet. Sorry. If you want to be a top 4 club, Doherty isn't anywhere near it. He wasn't brought in here to just play in cup matches, and that's basically what he's been what he's looking at this season. Tanganga is starting ahead of him. Tanganga, who isn't even a right back, he's been made into a right back. He is trash. No,
he's definitely not good, but I wouldn't say that he's horrible.
I would say he's horrible. Yeah.
I disagree with the horribleness of it. Right. For me, you'd have to have a SOFA score rating of lower than 6.5 every single match for him to be horrible, which is just not the case.
Why is that the benchmark?
Why is that the benchmark?
Yeah.
Because what's 7 or higher is green.
What's Aurier's then? If you compare him and Doherty on SofaScore. I think he's a waste of a roster spot, if I'm being honest.
Just in his last 6, he had one great performance against Sheffield United. Other than that, but all of his scores are under 6.5. 6.3, 6.3 against. He didn't play a whole lot either. He started more than Doherty did, but April, he 6.3 against United, 6.3 against Everton, 7.2 against Southampton, and 8.5 against Sheffield United, and then a 6.56, which gives him technically a 6.6 So Doherty performed in his last 5 matches in last season better than Aurier did. But Aurier gets goals and assists, right? He had 2 goals, 3 assists. Whereas Doherty, I don't think had any last season that I know of.
He had
Maybe
at least
one or
one
two.
assist because he assisted Harry Kane on that screamer against Palace.
But overall, ScofaScore rating, their average. Let me see if it changes by season. Yeah, it does. So the average last year for Aurier is 7.02, and
Aurier averaged 7.02.
Yeah, that's if you take the 8 and 5 and you average the 6 and the 3. That brings the 6.3 out.
Yeah.
Whereas I tend to do more of a weighted average rather than just a simple average.
Well, if you had to pick one, let's just take.
I don't think either of them are horrible. I don't think either of them are horrible. I think there's different situations. If I was the manager, I would use Matt Doherty whenever I'm playing a team that I need to be not making mistakes. Comparing shit to shit. If you're comparing, and then use Aurier when we don't need to worry about defending as much, like when we're playing against teams. Look, I think, to be honest with you, Serge Aurier could be a backup winger for Lucas Moura, to be honest with you. He was by far the best crosser of the ball that we had last season, right? By far, even a better winger than Lucas Moura was last season when he played wing over Gareth Bale, right? It wasn't until Gareth Bale started coming in to play that right wing spot in the second half of the season that Lucas Moura got pushed into that number 10 spot. I mean, neither of them are players that I want to keep, but I don't see Emerson Royal being better. What do you think about this comment? This one makes me scratch my head.
If you Aurier's Football Reference page is very interesting. If you look at it, it got him like 90th percentile in almost every defensive category. It's crazy. Oddly enough, Matt Doherty also, but like I think some of these numbers are skewed just based on the style of football that we were playing last year, because you're going to accumulate more blocks and clearances and aerials won if you're sitting on the back foot, which we did quite a bit of last season. Aurier, I think, is a better defender than Matt Doherty. I think he's more physical. I think he's faster. He's stronger. But I think he's dumber. Like he gives away free kicks in very dangerous areas, including the free kick that lost us the Carabao Cup last year, including the free kick that led to Everton's goal in the first game of the season. I think he gave away the free kick that led to Newcastle getting the handball from Eric Dyer. So
most of our errors, he has several errors leading to shots. I
don't think either one of them are good defenders. But if I had to pick one to stay and play, if you're not like Aurier wants to leave the club, so I would get rid of him because he's not a superstar. And if I had to pick one or the other for one game, I would pick Serge Aurier.
I mean, what did you do? Well, I guess he didn't do it. Play a lot. Let me see here. So tackles per game, 1.7. Serge Aurier is sitting at 2.9. It's better tackler. Matt Dougherty is better at intercepting the ball. Matt Dougherty is better at... They're about the same at dribbles pass per game and almost the exact same in clearances per game, too. I mean, not even separated by a full percentage.
Like, Aurier is 99th percentile in pressures and tackles.
Here's the...
And 97th percentile in aerials.
Yeah, so it does look like Serge Aurier is probably a better...
And the thing is, too, like, when you look at what they bring to the table going forward, Aurier completely dusts Dougherty.
Yeah, and then when you look at errors that were led to shots and goals conceded, Aurier is far above Matt Dougherty.
Right, but I mean, if you're talking about one game, Aurier's ceiling for performance is higher than Dougherty's. He might have a wider range.
He literally has an average of errors led to shot per game of 3. An average. If you're averaging 3 errors a game that lead to a shot,
what's Dougherty's?
0.
Mm. But like, if you're having a situation where a team is trying to attack you down the right-hand side, you're going to tell me that you want Matt Dougherty down that side instead of Serge Aurier?
I'm saying he's less prone to making a dumbass mistake.
Yeah, no, I agree on that.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's not like a deal breaker.
I'm Emerson Royale is prone to making a dumbass mistake. So it's like we getting rid of a player who makes dumbass mistakes to bring in another one who makes dumbass mistakes.
Yeah, except we're not actually getting rid of the first player that makes dumbass mistakes.
Well, I'm sure he'll end up playing for the U23s. I don't even think he's been given a squad number yet this season. What? How is errors to shots more telling on the quality of the attacker? You making an error which leads to the opposition of shooting is the statistic for a defender. It's a defensive stat. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Matt Dougherty is a wingback. That's how I look at him. I don't think he's capable of dealing with the right-hand side without the support of that third center back. When you watch him play, he really struggles. He's very clearly the weak link. Like, think about, I know he had a stinker, and many players did against Arsenal in March, but I mean, he made Smith Rowe look like freaking Messi. Like, Dougherty was just the whole game was just getting beat, and that might have been in part mismanagement because we started Gareth Bale. Yeah, I just don't see. Dougherty's just not good enough. Aurier's not good enough either.
So he's a little bit. So Emerson Royale is a little bit better than Serge on that. He only has an error allowed to shot 2. Right. Tackles per game are almost as much as Serge Aurier's 2.7. Interceptions per game is is better than. So he's kind of like Dougherty's interception rate with
You're on SofaScore?
Yeah.
Does that include all comps?
Yeah, that's what this is. This is an average of all competition.
All right. So what I'm looking at on Football Reference is just the.
Oh no, this is just the
Premier League.
Yeah.
That's weird because for interceptions, Aurier is at 1.36 per 90, and Dougherty is at 1.11. So this Football Reference is saying that Aurier is better at interceptions.
This is per game.
per
No.
90 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it says per game. Clearances per game. Interceptions per game for Matt Doherty was last season. $1.4. That's the last 365 days. That's more than last season. That's the last year.
Well, what day did we play Everton last year? September 1st? It's pretty much.
Remember.
So there's Aurier. And this is comparable minutes as well. Just about 1,856. I think Doherty's
the
is.
last ranges based on 1,000 plays.
So, I mean, without getting too much into it, if you're looking at the amount of green, especially going forward.
Oh, there's no doubt that Serge Aurier is better going forward than Matt.
But also
Doherty.
defensively, like Aurier is better, pretty much better than everything except clearances, or Doherty's better at clearances and blocks. So weird.
And aerials.
Yeah, again, these.
So I don't like percentiles. I'd rather go by
Yeah, but
actual, like the per 90 stats. I would be more interested in than the percentile. The percentile, I think, is a subjective thing. But no, I mean, this Emerson kid is I'm gonna have to redo it now. 2021. He played a lot of minutes, right? He played 34 matches for Real Betis. Started 34. Averaged 88 minutes, so he played a lot, right? This is a lot of data to go over. 4 assists, 1 goal. His passing stat, his defensive going forward stats, his crosses, chip passes, long balls, opposition half, not that good. Clean sheets.
Let me just ask you, like,
playing.
When you watch the two players play, which one do you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, and this is what threw me into the stats. So this is what people have to learn. If you guys want to go, like, what is Will Stewart's process? What is my process? First place I go when I hear that we're linked to a player, Brazil Scout. I watch highlights. First thing, okay? That's test number 1. Real Scout, and I watch highlight reels. If they pass the eye test in a highlight reel, step 2 is to go find a all touch from at least 3 matches. 1 win, 2 losses. Okay, this is my method. I watch all of their touches from a match 2 matches that they've lost and 1 that the players won. Then, if they pass that eye test, I go to statistics. So whether it be transfer market, SofaScore is my quick reference. Why? Because it's easier to find. When I'm doing an in-depth analysis, I go over to transfermarket.co.uk and I look at their detailed statistics there, right? That shows you every statistic that you could possibly want to look at. Emerson Royale didn't even make it past Brazil Scout. If I see something that causes me to go, whoa, the slide tackles, the way he was going in on players, recklessly, made me go, Serge Aurier, Serge Aurier, Serge Aurier, Serge Aurier, right? Immediately went to statistics, looked at the fact that he had, 9 yellow cards and 1 red card in 38 appearances last season. Big red flag. Right? Errors led to shots, 2. Penalty goals conceded, 1.
I just have a breaking news tweet from the Spurs web. It says, breaking, Tottenham, game over. No incomings and no outgoings. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. So on that note, I have to go. Game over, people.
All right, game over, folks. Anyway, thanks for the folks that are watching. I will be heading over to Tottenham away, to Stale's stream. I may take a 5-10 minute break, go pee, grab something to drink, and then I'll be over there. Everybody should go over there right now if you're not there already. Oh, our beards are far more trim than Tommy's. I mean, Tommy's got a nice beard, but Cody's is far longer. Mine is far cleaner. Right? Mine is well manicured.
My wife hates when I do this.
Yeah, you got a lot of neck hair as well. You need to trim that stuff up, dude.
Nobody sees it unless I do that.
That's true, so don't do that. Gross. Put it down.
See, I got my knuckles.
Yeah, hair's married. Knuckles, man. You're a hairy dude.
Told you, man.
There's a little. You can't even see it. I have hair there, but even that you can't see it on camera.
That's far.
That's why you live. It's not a bad thing if you live in Canada. It helps keep you warm in the wintertime, right?
Look, I got lots of places to transplant from if I ever want to have a full head of pubic hair.
Yeah, that would be interesting to use beard hair for a hair transplant. I probably could, to be honest with you. Mine's not very curly.
I did have a friend who edited a thing and put my beard on my head, and I looked like Johnny Bravo.
I don't doubt that. On that note, that's right, Jerry. Everybody head over to Tottenham Away. I'm going to throw the link in the chat if you guys just want to click over. You could probably get there faster than me, to be honest with you.
They're already gone. 39, 38. Goodbye, everybody.
Copy link address. There we go. Head on over. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already. Cody Mack. Folks, if you don't know, in this end of the show, we will be adjusting the time of the show. We're not sure yet, but stay tuned. I'll probably let you know by Thursday. Mr. K should also be going live here sometime around 6 p.m. for Let's Talk to K. I haven't heard from him today, and I haven't checked my WhatsApp while I was live here. But yeah.
If you're looking for your fix of irrational positivity, have I got a show for you?
Stay tuned for Let's Talk to K.
Talk to K.
We bring you down. He lifts you back up again. Go get it done. Folks, we'll see you next time. Stay strong. Stay Spurs. I said that backwards. Love ya.
Peace.
Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go now.